Oh, I'm live, I think. See, I told you I wasn't here. Thanks, John. Hey, I had to bring a little bit of nuttiness to start it all off since Jason threw me under the bus. Oh, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Sidetrack Sunday number 3 for the month of March 2021. I'm Ray Boble, and I'm hosting tonight in place of Jason the Train Freak. There's an echo. I hope there's no echo. There better not be an echo. Okay, let's see who all is in the chat to start off with. And of course, I don't actually have YouTube up, so I know that Roy Eltham was the first one in, and there was Almar, John number 2 from the Schuylkill River Valley. Let's see, Anthony Dodge, Open Dodge is in the house. Let's see, who else? We got Steve, 87PSAT. We got CP368. And Dave BNSF N Scale. David's Hobbies and Things. M&M Shortline. And we got New Fenris. Dwight Curley. Grandpa Rails is in the house. Let's see who else we've got hiding out there. Dwayne's Fork and Spoon, Santa Fe Bob. Welcome aboard, gentlemen. Bang, got you, Junction, Carl Braun. That one there is just a lot of fun to say, Carl. even when you are missing teeth. Mr. Joe Rader is in the house. Let's see who else we've got jumping in here. I'm finally getting down towards the bottom of the chat in the StreamYard here. Let's see. Wicked Insanity. Hey, haven't seen you around a bit. Of course, and again, I haven't been around much. Let's see who else we've got floating in here. Go Vero, go home. That would be Chris, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see who else we've got hiding around. Let's see here. I think Rail Artist. I think I'm finally getting caught up. Mr. Steve Shoulders. All right. Anyway. Yeah, this one here was a bit of a surprise. I really wasn't prepared. Of course, then again, none of us are really ever prepared when we do these things. And after the, I'm not sure what that was last Sunday. No. I had a bit of a little leprechaun floating around. Oh my gosh, you just never know what you're going to see when you got Rick the Tree or Rick the Leprechaun, or I don't know. I hate to see what happens when Easter comes around. I just don't know. I'm getting ready to open up YouTube here. I should have done this earlier. There might be an echo for a minute until I get things muted. And it's buffering, I see. Okay, there we go. There we go. Cool. All right, so it was already muted. Perfect. All right. Let's go over to the live chat there. Here we go. Hey, Lehigh River Subdivision is in. Didn't catch you there, Ian. Let's see. And Georgia Sunbelt. Hey, Bill Voights. I don't think I've seen you in here before, sir. Welcome in. Melvin Fackler is in the house. I think I got caught back up. Yeah, you know what? I think that's probably the big thing of the day, folks. I'm not sure if you caught it or not, but apparently there was a bit of an interesting merge that happened. I don't know if it happened earlier today or if it happened late last week, but apparently the CP Rail, which is Canadian Pacific, and the Kansas City Southern went ahead and merged. So that's interesting. I just saw Brian Page jumped in. So yeah, I haven't had a chance really to catch up with what exactly that is all about. I know Nora was live earlier and was talking about it, but you know, I like I said, that one really caught me off guard. And of course, for those who didn't know, it was a buyout. Who bought out who? Was it the CP brought out the? Did the CP Rail buy out KCS, or was it the opposite? They announced an agreement. Okay, so it's not a done deal yet. All right. Okay, that's CP bought KCS. Gosh darn, $25 billion. Wow. Yeah, well, I'm not gonna touch any of that P word, and I'm not talking about prototype. I'm talking about the other one. Hey, Heath. Oh my gosh. Anyway, it's not that much because it's 25 billion Canadian. Oh boy. Anyway, so like I said, I mean, for those that may not have known, I was actually on vacation this past week, and vlog number 11. Hey, try goggling. Thank you for the sub, sir. Anyway, vlog number 11 was actually scheduled to come out on its own. I had actually recorded that after I recorded vlog 11. I'm sorry, vlog 10. I recorded vlog 11 really right after that and set it up to go active this past Monday. Anyway, I was on vacation. I actually spent a week down in Florida, southwestern Florida to be exact. An area called Cape Coral, which it was good to be away for a week, not have to worry about things. Hey, Tom's Trains and Things is in the house. You haven't missed anything yet, and then we aren't sidetracked yet, Tom. We're close, but we haven't gotten sidetracked yet. Hey, Frank Steeler fan, welcome in. Lackawanna Rail fan, welcome in. Shays and Scale, nice, welcome in. So anyway, Steve's putting up stuff if you own KCS shares. Hey, we were just talking about that, Tom. The whole CP KCS merge. This is Ray. We started out sidetracked. Yeah, pretty much. That's the way things go. It's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Oh man. I was just moving things around here a little bit so I could get back to StreamYard, so I could actually start highlighting some things as I come across. Yeah, Caboose 121, thank you, welcome in. And yes, when are we not sidetracked? This is absolutely true. That's not the one I wanted. Daggone it, this chat's moving. There we go. When are we not sidetracked? We are constantly sidetracked. This is Sidetrack Sunday. Oh man. Does anybody have any ideas to what the things are in Tom's Trains and Things? I would have to agree with John number 2 and say that that's Doritos. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, right now the things is insulation. Yikes. I have to go back and take a look at. I'll have to go back and take a look at that, Tom. I saw that you were working on the new training room, so I'll have to. I'll have to take a look at that. Yes, Santa Fe, Bob, you're right. If we stayed on track, then something is definitely wrong. Oh my goodness. So anyway, I haven't picked up spicy nachos by mistake. Oh boy. I feel sorry for Debbie. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. What's this? Roy L from Me Too. Did you hear about the mistake that got me completely into a different scale? Oh, yeah, okay. No, you can't blame me on that one. Hey, PK and W Model Works, welcome in. Thank you, Grandpa Rails. I appreciate that. I'm not sure how I've missed making you a moderator. I'll have to fix that. Oh, Wilmington Station is in the house. All right. So, like I was saying, I I really didn't have anything set up for tonight. I just figured I'd come in here and we'll, sit here and we'll shoot the breeze for an hour, and whatever comes up in chat, we'll go ahead and hit, which we've already talked a little bit about the CP KCS thing, which, if it happens, is going to be something else. Yeah, I know. I got you started with the GG ones. Hey, Ken Amos, welcome in. Steve 80p, this Steve 87. It's not Ray's fault that you have a problem. You see your shirt. Oh, that's great. Anyway, I really wish, to a point, we had great. Joe Rader, you know what? This is a perfect opportunity. That's not the one. Would you stop jumping? Are you going to go to the train show? Well, here's the deal on that, and so that folks that are in the chat understand what Joe is asking me. There is a showstopper train show, if that makes any sense, coming to what used to be the Timonium Fairgrounds. They can't do it there because of the showstopper testing that they're doing and the vaccines. So they actually moved it up into an area called Cockeysville, which is another 10 minutes up the road, basically, into a rather nice hotel. And I've been there a few times. It's at the Marriott up in Hunt Valley. And they sent out notification, I guess it was about 2 weeks ago, that they were going to do, they finally got enough vendors and people interested that they were going to do a train show at the Marriott in Hunt Valley. And they're doing it, they're actually dividing it in the show into four pieces. There's going to be 2 shows on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. But the problem for me was I wasn't sure if I wanted to go. Then I decided, you know what, it would be good to be able to get out and actually go to a train show, because we haven't had one in over a year. That was until right before I went on vacation. And my brother had hit me up, and as you all know, he moved late last year, and he's got a project that he needs help with. And unfortunately, that same weekend is the train show. So I'm like, well, there goes that idea. Georgia Sunbelt, Anthony, that is April the 10th and 11th, and you have to pre-register, and I think it's $12. But it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be at the Hunt Valley Marriott. There you go. And Anthony or Joe Reader just put it up here. Oop, not that one. That one. Good Lord. Midsummer Railway N Scale. Welcome in from Australia. Thank you, sir, for popping in. I appreciate that. All right. Oh boy. I wrenches. We don't need those things. We have floggers. Yeah, and that's the other thing, Joe, is the tickets are online only. But like I said, unfortunately, that's not I'm not going to be able to make that. I really wish I could, but unfortunately, that's not going to happen. At least the Hunt Valley Train Show this time around. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. Now, somebody else had just brought up Strasbourg. I haven't heard anything new on Strasbourg yet, and I think Heath just put something up here. Still waiting on confirmation of the border opening. No border crossing until April 21st. Well, that's good news. Stop jumping. God, Zooks. Hey. No real artist, just me over here babbling and goofing things up, as usual. You haven't missed anything. Oh, boy. Jeez. Take it easy, Greg. We'll see you, buddy. Oh, man. So anyway, yeah, that unfortunately, like I said, I'm not going to be able to make the Hunt Valley Train Show as it's going to be this time. So, yeah, there you go. You know what, Georgia? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, nope. Thank you. Yeah, no politics. Thanks, Dwayne. There's no. Yeah, I know that there's a couple of folks that are down there in Florida, and unfortunately, I just didn't get a chance. I was talking to one fellow, and I was like, it was like, hey, hey, Wimble train, welcome in. I just wasn't close enough to a couple of folks that are in Florida to be able to make it, to be able to catch up with them while I was down there. Would have been cool, absolutely. I know that's true. Yeah, I'm glad I came back when I did, Heath. Yeah, I was talking to Mr. Steve about trying to catch up, and yeah, it just wasn't in the cards. Just wasn't in the cards. Not this time. We'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, Tom. I tell you what, though, that's a nice area down there. We were down there for a week, and we went out on the Caloosahatchee and went over to Sanibel Island, went over to Pine Island, went past Matlacha, which is interesting because it's pronounced Matlacha, but it's not actually spelled that way. So don't go looking for it like that. It's the Southern Yankee Railroad. Cat nuts. Welcome in. And I only got up to 70. Yeah, I know. It was chilly when we left yesterday. It was a little chilly when we left, which was kind of good because when we got home, it was still chilly. It was 63 degrees here today. So back up here at home. You're pronouncing everything correct. Exactly. I know that, Tom, but it's not spelled that way. Trust me. It was funny. We went looking for Matt Lachey, and I'm sitting there I'm trying to Google it, and it's not coming up that way. But yeah. Thanks, Cat Nuts. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was a makeover that went wrong. No, actually, Heath, it's not even spelled that way. It's weird. Yeah, I know I got spoiled. It was 80-some degrees when we were down there in Cape Coral. Yeah, I did. I got it on there the Monday before Jason just shaved. Oh boy, I did. I tell you, Martin, that was really cool to see the layout tour on Jenny's Monday Club a week ago. Oh boy, exactly, Tom. It's spelled it's spelled that way, and you would think it would be Matalacha, but it's not. It's Matt Lachey. Neat place. We actually stopped in there for some ice cream. We'd actually gone up to Pine Island and went through the Indian for what was it, the Calusa Indians. They've got I think it was one of the Florida universities has a archaeology dig going on up there, and it was rather unique 1 mile hike around what they've done. It was really nice, but yeah, I hear you. Yeah, we were, like I said, we were up here. We got up to 60, but I tell you what, last night it was down to 28. So the temperature swings here back home in Maryland, they've been a little weird. I mean, it was like a 40 or 50 degree move. So I need a haircut. It's been too. Whew. Wow, Roy. Jeez. I haven't had a haircut since 2001. Gee. I can go about 3 months before I got to get this, and I'm getting pretty close. Well, that's because you pulled all yours out building the bridge, Grandpa. Even better yet, what's hair? Oh boy, that's a bunch of rabbits standing side by side, and they take one step back, and then they take another step back, and then they take another step back. You know, it's a receding hairline. Boom, boom. Anyway, one word Floby. PK and W, I take it you've gone back and watched some of my older videos. I think that would have been the 200 subscriber contest. Uh, Wait a minute. What is this? Oh boy. Oh yeah, I know. So, you know, I'm glad somebody caught it at least, Brian. I'm sorry. $20 a cut times 12 times a year. That's a DCC incentive. Yeah, pretty much. That's the thing. I think my cuts have gone up to 25 or 30 now. It's like, okay, this is ridiculous. But it's really easy for them. It's 20. It's a number 2 all the way around. Look at what rail artist said he minored in college. All right, I must have missed something. I gotta back up here a minute. Okay. Oh, jeez. Boom, boom. Oh my gosh. Okay. You know, the funny thing of it is, we actually did that when my wife got tired of looking at my hair about 2 months into the pandemic or into the showstopper. So we went ahead and we bought us trimmers. The problem is my hair is so thick that those trimmers won't go through it. The only ones that will are the industrial ones that they actually have at the hair places. So anyway. Anyway. I did that for a while, but can't stay cleaning up the mess. There we go. And it didn't take us long, did it, Brian? Only 27 minutes, and we're completely sidetracked now. Oh, my. Oh, goodness. Brian Page, you need to do a video on haircuts for model railroad. Wait a minute. Hold on. I didn't know Jason was in here. Oh my gosh. I'll straighten that one out of here later, Carl. Yeah, pretty much, Anthony. Yeah, true. Yep. I agree. Oh, man. So anyway, one of the things I am going to do here, hold on a minute. Let's see if I can, that didn't work. That's not going to work. There we go. All right. So that is the present state. Weed whacker to get through my hair. Dave, BNSF 60. Yeah, that's what my brother keeps telling me. Need a bowl in the clippers. Anyway, so here is where I left off with the with the second level. Oh, great! Now we're getting into the bowling puns. If it wasn't that first, it was Heath with the frickin' IKEA nuts. and I'll explain more about that. I'll explain more about this comment in a little bit. Oh, really, Ian? Sorry, my mind's in the gutter. So anyway, yeah, that's as far as I've gotten. I haven't done any more with it. And one of the things that I'm thinking about doing, because there had been some really good comments on how to line everything back up if I have to pull these removable sections up. A couple of folks have mentioned, the wooden dowels or the pegs, putting those in there to line things back up. It's it's all good, Ian. But one of the things that I happened to think about was the cam nuts. If you know what I'm talking about, if you've ever put together a piece of furniture from IKEA, or even some of the other newer furniture these days, they've got those what they call cam nuts. That's where the one piece has a screw that sticks down, and then they have that nut that actually grabs and holds things together. T-nuts. Well, the problem with this is the T-nuts wouldn't work for this. Only because the bolts would actually stick up above the plywood. So I was looking at more or less like those like I said, those cam nuts to see if that would work out better. But the more I thought about that, they're really not going to work too well with this. I think I'm just going to go ahead and use the peg idea that I had, or that came up. I think it may have been, I'd have to go back and look at the actual comments. But yeah, I mean, exactly, Wick. If you're thinking, now I do use the T-nuts up underneath the layout for the legs just to level everything out, but not for this. Brass furniture pins. Don't think I follow that one, John. You and I may have to catch up later. Oh, God. All right, Heath. I guess somebody has to take that to keep up with Sparky and Sparky in here. They, believe it or not, Anthony, you can get them on Amazon. Amazon actually sells them. So you can get a hold of them. But like I said, especially for the backside, which is what we're looking at here, you wouldn't be able to see what you're doing to get everything lined back up. So it's probably better just to use the pegs. So, Menards sells them. Okay. Oh, I know what you're talking about now, John. Okay. Yeah. I got you. Gotcha. Yeah, I had a whole slew of T-nuts that my stepfather-in-law had accumulated. So I used a bunch of them on the legs underneath the layout itself. But yeah, I mean the second level is starting to come around. It's not 100% what I wanted yet. It's really close. The other thing I think that I'm going to have to look at here a little bit, and I'm going to scroll this up just a little. There we go. This is kind of nice with the Logitech Capture. I can actually control the camera remotely. Union Station, which is that great building, I still have to figure out if I want it off to what is right on the frame, if I want it centered over top of that bracing, or if I want it left of that bracing. I still haven't figured out exactly where I want to put it. And I'm thinking now what I may end up having to do is put the backside in, this open area here. Is actually put this together and then pull all the downtown buildings out and put them up there to see how things are going to sit, because I'm not 100% certain where this is going to end. I mean, I know this is where it needs to be. It needs to be over on that set of boards. I just don't know if I want it centered and it's not really centered. The board on the left is actually 2 foot. The board on the right is 3 foot. So it's not. It wouldn't be sitting directly over it regardless. But I have to leave myself some room because I want to put in an interior to this, and I also want to put in the passenger platforms underneath. So, like I said, I just haven't. Obviously, we're a long ways from doing any of that. But I just have to figure out exactly where I want to put the station, and I may end up having to, like I said, bring out the rest of the buildings to see exactly where it's going to sit. The other thing is I have to find or get a hold of some 15-inch radius, and I know we've kind of talked on this one before too. Since this is going to be a trolley line on that second deck, I don't have to worry about how tight that radius is. Being 15 inches is going to be fine because the trolleys that are up there don't need a wide radius. They don't need one. In fact, there's the trolley cars or the streetcars sitting off the side. So they don't need a 22-inch radius or an 18-inch radius to run. They'll work fine on the 15. So, but that's where I've got to figure out. That's what I've got to do. I'm actually going to see if I can move. Yeah, we can move that up there. There we go. So, but 9 E units, Heath, and you think you've got a GG1 issue? Oh boy. Yeah, apparently Heath does have a money tree. I'm still trying to figure that one out. But then again, I just got back from vacation too, so. You know what, Steve? 80. I'd love to have a Domino's sugar plant, because down in downtown Baltimore, and if Tom's Trains and Things is still here, and probably even Anthony from Georgia Sunbelt has seen it, too. Downtown Baltimore, there is a Domino's Sugar building, and it used to be lit up in neon, and they're changing it to LEDs. Oh boy, everybody's a critic. Look who snuck in the back door. Man, they'll let anybody into these streams. I tell you. I tell you, they'll let anybody in here. But yeah, they've been taking that old Domino's neon sign down, and they're going to put up I think they're supposed to put up an LED one in its place. But that's an iconic. They just sold pieces of that sign, right? Yeah, I know that, and that kind of gets me, man. That was an icon down there. And it's signed off the muddy water of the inner harbor, and but anywho, it is what it is, and time marches on. I'm just hoping that that the new sign at least kind of looks right. Oh no, did Rick's in here too? Did they let Rick in here too? Really? Ah. Yeah, right. That's when the rest of the crew shows up. Oh, yeah, pretty much, Brian. I think the whole gang's in here now. NS5107, aka Chazco. He's in the house. Welcome in. Yeah, this is true. John number 2 was actually here before me. You guys need to go back and watch the beginning of this video. Yeah, well, originally, anyone model a sugar plant? That's a good question. I don't know if anybody does. I know at one point in time when I was building the industrial area, I was thinking about putting in a cement plant that was close to the cement plant that sits off of I-95 just outside downtown Baltimore, at a place called Sparrows Point. And that was, of all things, Lehigh Cement. But it just wouldn't work out right. Take it easy, Dwayne. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. Go back to the beginning. Boring. All right, real artist. Yeah, I know that Jason's got a Morton Salt on his layout. The only thing he needs is an Energizer battery factory and a pepper plant, and then he could say he's got a salt and battery. Oh, never mind. Anywho, that's what I meant. Yeah, a salt plant and then a battery plant right next door. You got a salt and battery, so you're good. That goes along with the flogging. The funny thing is we used to have we used to have right next to one of the sites where I used to work was a Sweetheart Cup factory, and I'm sure that everybody's familiar with the Solo cups. Well, that's what they made those as well. So what? And I can no longer hear Ray. 8,000 horsepower, 20 feet away has drowned him out. My brother used to live pretty close to the railroad tracks, too. I'm taking that that's so you could throw things at me? Because I would, Oh, boy. Yeah, 10,000 comedians out of work, and I'm trying to be one. Anyway. Hey, Heath. Oh, got oranges out the yin yang. Yeah. Oh, now that's just wrong, Heath. Come on now. I'm only a year older than you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, here we go. I told you all in the video that there was going to be some hilarity. Well, we've already gotten there. uh, uh, say it pop up. Thanks, Joe. Okay. So, okay. I was. So, what do you guys are only as old as you feel. Only as old as you feel. And unfortunately, I feel like I'm 80. Oh. Brian, trust me, I'm used to this. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it is. It's always a tough crowd. And the sidetrack Sunday crew themselves are just a tough crowd. Even John number 2, but he won't say. He usually destroys a zinger in there every once in a while. You got to really be paying attention. I don't feel like an old man anymore. Uh-huh. Oh boy. Now, exactly. I know you're going to make it count, John. We've got trouble lurking in the basement.
I have snuck in the back door.
You never know. You never know.
Hey, Ray, sorry, but not sorry.
Yeah, well, and just think, you got to do this again next week.
Don't remind me.
I'm a tough act to follow, you know.
So where's the beard? You forgot the beard.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't. I actually shaved this morning.
Oh.
Not that I needed to. You're looking a little red there, Jason.
Let me tell you, man, I am freaking burnt. I got torched. I don't even have the ring light on, and I have a glove. It's so. The other day, I was getting prepped for doing tonight's show, and Amanda came up to me and was like, "You might have to change your plans on Sunday." And I'm like, I got Sidetrack Sunday, right? She goes, "Yeah, but we got a family outing to go on." I'm like, "Okay, where are we going?" And needless to say, we drove 2 hours just to go to the Memphis Zoo and take Erin, but we also met up with her family and stuff, had a lot of fun. I was going to try to videotape the train, but it was down for repairs, so what can you do? But we got back a little late, so needless to say, it was very sunny over there. The temperature wasn't bad. It was like in the mid-60s. So it was a nice day, but sun was out in full force, not a single cloud in the sky, so
yeah,
a little burnt.
Yeah,
but,
well, it was funny while we were down in Florida. We rented my wife rented a boat, so we took the boat and went through the canal and went out into the Caloosahatchee, and of course we got got lathered up and everything. I get back to the house. I'm like, man, my right arm hurts. Well, the right arm was hanging outside of the boat the whole time, and it got it got red. The other side didn't. I'm like, well, take it easy, rail artist.
So, and I guess what didn't have matters any is like from where I live at, Memphis is east of us.
Right.
So this morning I'm driving into the sun. And then on my way home, I'm driving into the sun. So it was like no chance of like, you know, the shade being on either the driver or the passenger. No, it's coming through the windshield.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally I-40 the whole way, and it's, you know, 40 runs east and west. So, but we had a good time and whatnot. Last time I was there, I think Aaron was maybe like 2 or 3. So that was one of the reasons why I couldn't really turn it down.
Right.
You know, because it's one thing like, you know, Little Rock has a zoo. I mean, it's okay. But the Memphis Zoo, if you ever get a chance to go to a good zoo, that is a good zoo. I've been to a handful, and I haven't seen anything top Memphis. Now, I'm sure there's some good ones elsewhere, like up in the Northeast and maybe some out in California. But like in the central U.S., Memphis has got a real good one.
Oh, I'm laughing at the chat. The he's bringing up something that I got rid of about 6 years ago. For those the 40, there is a story behind that. For let's see, I bought that boat in '96 and sold it in 2015. So I had it, almost 20 years. The guy that had it before me was a psychiatrist. Thus the name, the Freudian ship.
Right.
He
was a big Sigmund Freud fan.
So he named it the Freudian. And of course, anybody who's ever owned a boat knows it's bad luck to change the name of a boat. So It's stuck. So, you know, the boat that I drove was not the Freudian ship, or the Freudian slip, for that matter.
Well, I would think any boat named after Sigmund Freud would be bad luck, too.
Well, yeah, so this is true.
You had the deck of cards against you on that.
Well, you know, it wasn't a bad boat, but I did, after a year of owning it, or actually 2 years of owning it, the engine blew.
Bad luck.
So, and then by the time, you know, by the time I went and sold it, I mean, the boat was still in great shape. The engine needed some work, but I just didn't have the time for it anymore.
Yeah.
And most of the folks that used to hang out with me to go out fishing, namely my brother and a couple of his friends, you know, they all got married and had kids, and it's like they didn't have any time for it either. It's like, well, so, you know, it was just time to let it go. So I did. But yeah, Lackawanna Rail fan, we kind of touched on that. There is a train show coming to the Hunt Valley Marriott in Maryland, the weekend of April 10th and 11th. And it's going to be split into 4 segments. They're going to do 2 shows on Saturday and 2 shows on Sunday. I think if you want, you can hit me up on email, and I can get you the info for it if you're local to it and want to get down there. You have to buy the tickets ahead of time. They're not selling them at the door. So, but yeah, and unfortunately, I'm not going to make that one. My younger brother said, "Hey, can you help me out that weekend?" Okay. It is what it is.
Don't feel bad, because I just found out it's not a train show, but it's called a craft and hobby show. Mm-hmm. Trains follow in it. I found out that it's going to be going on in Jacksonville, Arkansas, the weekend of I think it's April the 10th. And it happens to be the same weekend that me and Aaron are going to be on a troop scouting camp out at Shiloh, Tennessee. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to miss that one. So,
You know,
We're
it's
going to
like
be doing
I
our
was,
other hobby.
yeah. It's like I was telling Joe Rader earlier. I said, man, I'd love to be able to get to that one up in Hunt Valley because it's like it's right up the road from me. But
Yeah.
you know, it's just not in the cards. We'll have to see. I mean, I was like, man, I just want to go just because I haven't been to a train show in over a year. But you know, I'll just have to wait till the fall.
Now, in retrospective to that, there is a train show in Jacksonville, Arkansas, that's like 5-10 minutes from where I live. So it's like next city over. August the 21st and 22nd. And me and Aaron actually signed up for a booth to display his in-scale modular layout.
Oh, nice.
So I probably
Nice.
won't get a good video of the train show itself because me and him's got to man that booth, you know. So unless I can get someone to kind of help man it for me, maybe I can get a video. Who knows?
Touchdown ties it up.
That's only if the PAT is good and they don't go for
Right,
two.
exactly. As long as the extra point doesn't get blocked. Oh, man.
Now, he didn't specify how good the kicking team was, so they might just go for two.
But this is true. This is true. That would be good.
And then if that's the case, it doesn't matter if you make it or not. You're not getting 7 points. You're either going to get 6 or 8.
Right. Oh, man. So, yeah, I mean, it's yeah, like I said, Jason, you kind of threw me on the spot. I didn't really have anything going on tonight, but, you know, hey, the show goes on, you know?
No, that's right. Well, I appreciate you swapping with me because I did try to pawn it off on Rick first, and he never got back with me. So
I'm not even sure Rick's in the chat.
And then, of course, I was going to offer it to Heath, considering that Rick took Heath's.
Right.
And, of course, you know, he's not
Right.
able to either. And I was like, well, let me see if Ray will swap. If not, I'm just going to have to cancel.
Right.
Because I was literally concerned about not getting back in time, and I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't pull in the driveway till 7:15 with my time, which is 8:15 y'all's.
Right.
So I would have been late to my own show if I didn't, you know, if I didn't try to make some other type of accommodations.
And the leprechaun is in the house.
Yeah, there's Rick.
Just never know. I never know what you're gonna get when you have Rick hosting a show or being on a show, for that matter.
He fits in STS pretty well, doesn't he?
Something like that. Hey, Dave from the Crooked River in Eastern. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Dave.
Oh, man. Waiting
So
to see
I'm
you.
actually viewing on my cell phone tonight, so I can't see the live chat. So if anybody's got a question for me, Ray, you're just going to have to pop it up so I can see it.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything. Everybody's just it was basically just sitting here chit chatting. I'm not sure if you saw. I'm sure you heard. That the CP Rail and Kansas City Southern. Yeah.
I've heard some conflicting stories on it. There is a buyout. That's completely official. But the amount I've heard 25 billion, I've heard 20 billion, and I've heard 29 billion. I don't know which one is correct. I don't think 20 is. It's either the 25 or 29. But I haven't contacted Craig, who would be in the know on that. For those who don't know, Craig is the guy who owns the hobby shop that I'm affiliated with, and he's also the ex-federal DOT inspector that knows everything about railroads, and he's like in good cahoots with all of the what you call the brass for every single railroad out there, no matter where it's at. Like, he knows anybody and everybody. So I haven't talked to him about it. I'm sure he probably posted something, sent me a message today, and was like, hey, this happened, because he fills me in with all that stuff. one of the things that he is working on that I think is really cool, and the latest I heard, it's at the governor's desk waiting to be signed. They're making the Cotton Belt 819, which is the last steam locomotive that the Cotton Belt built. They actually built it in the Pine Bluff shops, and it currently resides there because the city of Pine Bluff owns it in the Arkansas Railroad Museum. He's working on a bill to make it the official steam locomotive for the state of Arkansas.
Nice.
Which I think is very cool. It passed the House, which he is a state representative, so that's how he's able to write that bill up. And it has passed the state Senate. It's on the desk at the governor's office, and I don't know if the governor has signed it or not. But the way the bill is written up, it's not going to cost anything as far as taxes go. So there's really no reason why the governor could not sign that bill. And there's only like a handful of states that have a steam or a state steam locomotive. I know Kentucky's one. I don't know if there is any others, but the one I do know of is Kentucky. And it makes it to where who's going to try to scrap a steam locomotive that is official by the state?
Right.
You know what I mean? So
right.
It's like to definitely preserve it. The last time it ran was in the 90s. It's still undergoing restoration, and the people that were restoring it that knew that steam knowledge, they have all died and passed on. So there's not a lot of people now, and then there's this kind of butting heads. Union Pacific offered to fully restore it under the condition that it had to be maintained and serviced in Cheyenne, Wyoming with the rest of their steam fleet.
Right.
With biannual excursions on the Cotton Belt line, every 2 years. But the city of Pine Bluff owns that locomotive because the Cotton Belt donated it to them before the full complete merger of the SP in '92. So, but where it currently sits, which is where it was currently built in the old Cotton Belt shops, Union Pacific owns that building, and the Arkansas Railroad Museum resides at that building, or they lease it. So I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe it's another one of those things that they can kind of push to get that museum reopened, because they're still closed due to the showstopper.
Right.
And I mean, why can't people, mask up? Even if we are fixing to go away from a mandatory mask mandate, which is a totally different subject that I don't want to get into. But why can it not be open? That's not just a question of me, but a lot of people. Right. And so he's hoping that getting this steam locomotive to be the official steam locomotive of the state of Arkansas, that's going to kind of put that wedge in there to be like, okay, y'all need to open the doors.
Right. Right. Yeah, and then we were talking about museums, and this is Night Opa Dodge first off, and hey Randall, welcome in. One of the things that I found interesting, and of course I haven't been to the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad Museum in I think I talked about it once before, like 20 years. Actually, it's been less than that, probably closer to 15. The wild thing is I was looking the other day because they had just restored that E unit, the shovel nose, and I was looking around going, hey, wait a minute, what happened to the GG1 that was in there? The GG1 that they had inside the roundhouse at the B&O Railroad Museum is no longer there. I don't know where it went. The only thing I can figure is it's either up at Strasburg or it's up at Altoona. But it's no longer at the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad Museum. But the other thing was it was kind of disheartening to see was the couple of the steam locomotives that are historically unique pieces are sitting outside rotting away. And it's like, this ain't right. And part of it's funding, and part of it's been the showstopper, but it's just a darn shame that in a lot of the history, a lot of the railroad history is disappearing, and it's because of the fact that people just don't see it as something that's needed. And I mean, there's parts to the American Freedom Train sitting at the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad Museum, the passenger cars, and they're out in the open.
Yeah,
and it's like there's something has to happen there. Something needs to get fixed.
so like with the Arkansas Railroad Museum, I did a video, and it's I can't remember what number, but it starts with RF, and it says getting like back to my roots, or going back to my roots, something along that line. It is a fully enclosed building. It is the original car shops. Pine Bluff was like a huge hub for the cotton belt. I mean, it was the halfway point on the route. They had a roundhouse, which is no longer there, car shops, coach shops, machine shops. Actually, I think the museum's in the machine shop, not the car shops. So, and the difference between your car shops and your coach shops were the car shops was for the repair for freight cars, coach shops was a repair for the passenger cars. So they had so many different buildings there. But it's all inside. The only problem is it's not climate controlled. There's no heat, no AC. But it's all inside except for their maintenance away equipment, which is like a couple of bunk cars, a generator car, the Bucyrus Erie crane and tender. It's still sitting outside. But they will allow you to open the door to go out there and actually go and look at that equipment, up front. On the inside, they've got several locomotives, passenger cars, cabooses that are fully restored. So it's not like the question. It's not like that one video, the caboose that I showed recently at Arkansas Traveler Hobbies, where it was kind of gutted out on the inside. These have everything in there. So you could see exactly what it would look like on the day of that it was going down the rails.
Right.
Speaking of, it's actually right here. The actual prototype to this caboose, number and everything, is sitting inside that building. And I want to take this caboose and compare it with the actual prototype to see how well did Athearn do on this, because this is a Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see how well Athearn got it right.
Right. Well, I mean, the wild thing that people don't realize, and that there was, I think it was PK&W was asking about the B&O Railroad Museum. The B&O Railroad Museum's been fixed after that roof collapse years ago. They also repaired the steam locomotives that got crushed when that snow fell and when it brought the roof down. Hey, Pete, and I know that somebody else snuck in there too, and I forgot. I had him up there for a minute, and then I dropped it. But anyway, they repaired all that. Well, what's really unique about the B&O Railroad Museum, that roundhouse, isn't actually a roundhouse for locomotives. That roundhouse down there at Mount Vernon was originally for them to build passenger cars.
Okay.
They literally built them in there, and then they would turn them around and they would send them out. And on the back side of the roundhouse was the actual engine shops, which they still use these days to do all the restoration work that they do.
Right.
But it's like I said, the museum was a unique museum because it was completely enclosed. But that's where they built the coaches. That's where they built the passenger cars. And that was unique. I never realized that as a kid. I didn't realize that that's what they used it for until I took my daughter down there. And I'm looking at there. Wait a minute, they used to build the passenger cars in here? I would have thought that they stored the locomotives in here. No, it was. So it's different. I've never seen a roundhouse used to build a passenger car, but that's what they did.
Well, and the thing about that 819 and being built in the machine shop, the only thing that was not built there was the firebox. And this was during World War II, so they couldn't really order locomotives from Lima, Baldwin, Alco, you name it. So these were 484 L1 Northerns that were actually converted from Mikados. So they were a lot smaller.
Oh.
Steve, you know quality's not coming from here. Not from either one of us. You might get lucky to get quality from John. Maybe Heath. But you should know better. And I'm not even going to talk about Rick.
I hope that check doesn't bounce, John.
Wait, I thought you used your credit card.
No. Shh, don't tell the white. Take it easy, Dave. Oh, boy. Anyway.
Ray, next time you might need to use a cashier's check.
Well, it might be better.
Or cash in an envelope. It's untraceable if you do it that way.
Not right. Not right. Oh, the things. Bring back Rick. I was trying to hit this one. Oh, God. Jeez. Everybody's a critic. Oh, man. So, yeah, I mean, it's too much fun. So, how's since you were up here and we were talking, how's Junior's layout going?
We've got one coat of paint on it. I'm debating on if I want to put a second coat on before I put the track on, or if I want to just put the track on and then maybe apply the second coat when we do scenery. I'm undecided. I will go ahead and say that me and him went ahead and recorded a mail call video because, oh Lord, let me go back. Sorry, Heath. Go rent a DeLorean, okay? You might need what is that? 2.21 gigawatts. You might have to find some way to hook a hook to it with some wire and lightning. You might make it. But as far as Aaron's layout, we actually did a mail call earlier because one, I did receive a package in from Heath, but Junior received in a massive package from Roy Eltham. Some things I knew that was coming, and then he popped in some surprises too that I thought's really cool. So his track is literally, we've got 90% of it, if not 100%, for the whole module.
Nice.
So, and the module has actually changed a little from what I originally showed in the video.
Mm-hmm.
What I originally showed was a 2x24, or no, 24 by 48. Yeah, it was literally 2 feet by 4 feet. This has now changed to a 30 by 60. So, and the main reason being is because of the oval was using track that was like 9 3/4 inch radius, something along that lines. You N-scale guys, y'all would know this a lot better than me. I'm an HO guy, diehard, so this is like new territory. This is what Junior wanted. He wanted a layout that he did not have to have in a garage. And I'm like, well, we could build something smaller under the layout. And he was like, N-scale? And I'm like, if you want it, you know. He's like, yeah. And he really didn't start that talk till after I got in a bulk load of N-scale cars because I was looking for one freaking car off of eBay, and it was in a lot. And it was from Panama Roy, or Roy Smith.
Right.
And it was this caboose that I was looking for. And so when Aaron actually saw the sizes of the cars hand up, he was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. I was like, okay. So we got a game plan together. I shared the game plan out, and we have received a lot of generous support, you included. So thank you for that.
Hey.
John, Schuylkill, or John too, he helped out as well. And then, some people helped out financially, and then some people just sent, the materials that we needed. And Roy was a huge help, Roy Eltham. So
right. Well, and I think the biggest thing here, and I mean, I know that there are a few of us in the chat that have been helping you and Junior out. One of the biggest things is seeing a younger person that has the drive that wants to do it like he does. And that's the big thing. We have to. That's the only way that this hobby is going to survive is if we keep bringing the younger generation in. And
right.
I mean, because we're unfortunately, myself included, we ain't getting any freaking younger.
Right. You're absolutely right. And so, like with this layout, the only thing that I really did on it was cut the wood because he's not using my power tools. I'm sorry, he's not. I'm not giving him the chance to cut a finger off. It's not happening.
Right.
I did put most of the bench work together because I had to use, my DeWalt impact drill gun type thing. But once I did that, and I created the track plan, that's all I've done. Everything else has been him. He put the casters underneath so that way it'll roll under his bed, and they're all 360 degrees casters. He put the handles. It's actually got two handles on it, so that way when he does push it under the bed, he can grab the handles and pull it towards him.
I saw that. That was a great idea.
Well, not just that, but carrying the thing, it's light enough that I can carry it with just the two handles.
Nice.
So, like when we do take it to the train show, of course I'm gonna have to make sure like the buildings and stuff are not on there, but I can carry it to where, if there's like trees and stuff glued in, it's pointing away from me. So I can still carry it by myself.
Right.
And the wheels are up high enough to where I could just take a couple of 2x4s and lay them flat and lay the layout on top of it, and the wheels will not touch if it's on top of a table, like for a display or something.
Right.
So I've actually got it sitting on Sawhorses right now. I'm going to let him decide what he wants to do, if he wants to go ahead and slap track down or if he wants to paint another coat. I think it would look a lot better with a second coat of paint, but sometimes it's better if you just apply your flock, your ground cover and stuff to your wet paint so it adheres into it and you don't have to use like Mod Podge.
Right.
So you can go that route too. So I'm going to let him decide. Since Roy Eltham also fixed him up with some really cool rolling stock, and included, he got a piece of rolling stock that I have exactly the same for HO scale. He's got a total of 10 pieces of rolling stock and a GP, I think it's a GP 39-2 BNSF. He decided to go modern BNSF locomotive.
That was a statement. Steve wanted to know what railroad he's going to build.
Yeah. So he likes orange and red. He really likes Santa Fe, that red Santa Fe. He also likes the Northern Pacific logo because red and black's his two favorite colors. But at the hobby shop, it was either a not a patch, but a weathered SP and speed lettering, which is the one I was trying to push him on. A slew of Rio Grande, a couple of BNs. And all the Rio Grandes, the SP and the two BNs that he had up there were all weathered. Mm-hmm. And then he had one BNSF. And he was like, I want that one there because it looks fresh, clean, and new. And it's the one that's got the swoosh logo to it. So he's going to be running BNSF.
Nice.
So, and I told him, I said, with you running modern locomotive, you can pretty much run any type of rolling stock on the back of it. But Steve, if you want to get it for him, I'm sure he'll run it for you.
John 2618 jumped in. Hey, John, how you doing, bud?
Hey, John.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I was happy that I could go ahead and do a little something for him. You know, like I said, just getting the kids interested and keeping them interested in the hobby. So, that's great. I mean, I'm sure Amanda's not very. What are you gonna do underneath his bed?
Well, he was storing just like toys and stuff under there, and she's like, "Well, if he's got something he's actually going to play with." Because, like, with Aaron, if it's not playing with, out here with me on the layout, now he really doesn't like working, like helping me put tortoise switches on and the stuff that even us, we don't care to do. But, we need to do it to make it functional. What kid really wants to do that? Not many. Scenery, I'm too nitpicky. So I really haven't asked his help for scenery. But on his, I'm going to let him test the waters. This is his layout.
Right.
Roy sent him a kit. So I'm curious to see how this is going to look. I'm going to show Aaron how to do it. I'm going to guide him on letting him build his own kit, his first kit.
Right.
He gets to choose what he wants. This is his layout. I just did a track plan, something that he could run by himself, or he could attach it to another module.
Right.
So it's up to him if he wants to add another module to it. If we want, my buddy David Jackson, he's got an Insco modular layout. Actually showed his layout a long time ago on my channel, like June, July. And we could actually hook this layout up to his. The only thing I have to do is take a 6-foot strip of wood and put, a double track on it, because his modules are not, 30 inches long.
Right.
And if I said 6 foot, I meant 5 foot, 30 inches. So I have to make sure that I can do that, so that way Aaron's layout's not the last one. We are isolating the double track from the inside loop, so that way you could have, if it is connected to David's, David could be running 2 trains on the main, and we could be running a 3rd train on the inside loop. So I put in a lot of plan and thought into what this layout's going to look like.
CFA Bob just put up something interesting.
So Patreon for his layout. I don't know if I could set up a second Patreon, because that's tagged to your bank account. So that would be tough to do. And I don't know if Amanda's going to want me to tag hers or not.
I was going to say, with the way I did mine, I've got mine sent to a PayPal, but you still need email, even an email address for that. So
yeah. I want to say mine's tagged to my bank account.
Yeah.
So that
I didn't do that. Mine's tied to PayPal.
but the problem with me putting it in PayPal is I would have to transfer it to the bank anyways.
Right.
So that way I can go to the hobby shop and buy like the prizes and stuff that I buy for all my contests and stuff.
Right.
So it's just much easier for me to have the Patreon just go straight into the bank, and then I keep a tally of it, on paper as to, okay, this goes to that. I'll transfer it to my savings account, so that way I don't spend it accidentally.
Right.
So
yeah, that's the only reason why I've got mine going to the PayPal is the fact that the PayPal, I'm the only one that really uses it.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm the only one that does use the PayPal account. So it's like, so.
A GoFundMe? Man, that would be like the 4th. So for those who do want to get involved with him, what I have told people is, if you purchase anything of his off his Teespring, that goes straight to him, to his layout. If you don't want to purchase his swag, that's completely fine. I've been telling everybody, hey, just hit my PayPal up and do a comment in there saying, hey, this is for Junior.
Which is exactly what I did.
Right. And so that way, you know, if he wants something on the layout that's not at the hobby shop, then I can use it maybe towards like an online hobby shop or even eBay.
Right.
So, and then if it is something at the hobby shop, then what I'll end up doing is it's kind of like shifting money around. I'll basically just say, okay, well, this guy gave you, you know, $25. Here, let me go pull 25 out of my bank, you know, and I give it to him cash, and then he'll go and do what he wants to do.
Right.
So
yeah. She's in scale. Just give him his own bank account.
I think he's a little too young.
Gotta wait a couple of years on that one yet.
I will tell you, if he does choose, when he gets a little older, if he does choose to start his own channel, which I'm completely okay with, we will take his whole playlist and upload it to his own channel. I have decided that for right now, we're just going to keep it as one channel. But what I have done is I've went through all of my layout updates and retitled. Everything that starts with HO is the big layout. Everything that starts with N, which right now there's only one, is his layout. So I'm going to still try to do mine weekly. Depending on how much he does on his will depend on if I throw a video up or not.
Right.
Like, I don't really feel like it's justice just to say, okay, you got the bench work done on the last one. Oh, you painted. Well, let's make a video about you painted it. You know, I mean, that's really not saying much. And that's why while he was actually out there painting it, I did my HO layout just showing that, hey, he's the one doing the work, not me.
Right.
So, you know, if it's something that he can't do, then I will come in and help.
Right.
But this is his layout.
Exactly.
So,
and it's going to be a good learning experience for him too. I mean, it's, you know, and like I said, we all start somewhere. Some of us started later, some of us started younger, and you know, but you learn. And I mean, like I said, here it is with this monster that I'm working on now. You know, it's been what 30, 40 years in the making. You know, and it's this one here. I mean, I got the bench work done. I've got all the. Now I'm starting. Things are slowing down because I'm starting to get into the stuff like you were talking about, nitpicky.
right.
You know, the stuff where that second deck, I've got to make it to where it isn't like the old second deck that I had. And if anybody wants to go back and watch the old 13-foot by 11-foot layout stuff from 2014 to 2019, that second level, if I had an issue, it was a pain in the butt to do anything because it was one piece and it was L-shaped, which meant to move it was just, I'm like, never again. I learned no, you can't do it that way.
Well, and that's like this layout here. This is my first attempt at doing a multi-level layout. My first attempt at doing a helix. And I felt like I did a pretty good job on the helix. But what I've learned on the multi-level, start at the top and work your way down.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is a pain to climb in between the levels to mount a tortoise switch. And so I can't do any scenery down here yet. I'm okay to do the scenery where I'm at because it's a helix going above it. But once I get over to where it's actually another level where you got electronics underneath and stuff, I can't do any scenery there until I get everything done up on the levels above. And so now it's kind of like, okay, so even though I can do scenery in this small section, which is the balloon loop, I can't do any scenery on level 1 or level 2 until I get level 3 completely built with all the electronics under level 3.
Right.
And so, and a part of me is kind of like, I wish I would have known some of this because I started this layout before I started this channel. And if I would have known that stuff, then I probably would have went a different route about doing things.
The one thing, and good night, Bob. Take it easy, buddy. One of the things I think that, and I know that Sparky just tore his down, helixes are a sucker. I mean, I heard that when I was trying to come up with a track plan for the old house. And I had all sorts of weird contraptions. And if anybody goes back through those old, there was at one point in time, a buddy of one of the guys I worked with, him and I were sitting there talking one afternoon at lunch, and we were actually talking about building an elevator to get from the lower level staging to the first deck to the upper level staging.
Right.
And it would be a rotating elevator nonetheless. So you could actually turn the trains around.
Okay.
Great idea. The problem is the basement didn't allow for anything over like 5 foot. Well, a 5 foot train isn't okay. Great. So like I said, I had so many different iterations that I went through. But like I said, if it were me and I had to build a helix, I think the helix for me would be the thing I would build first. It wouldn't matter if it was third deck, second deck, first deck. It would have to be, that would have to be built. The tracks go in, like you did, the tracks in and out. Test the living heck out of that thing before you start building everything else, because that has to be perfect. It has to be right, because if it's not, it's never going to work right. And Steve brought up, is he going to be DC or DCC? He's
going to be DC. So we've got the Kato. He's using Kato Unitrack, and we've got the Kato Power Pack. And just FYI, Ray, my phone just popped up saying, "Hey, I got 5% left." So yeah. So if I disappear unexpectedly, my phone died.
2 weeks ago or last month, it was the power went out.
Yeah, which was all Heath's fault. So.
Right.
But
yeah, I mean, I just think it's great that you got Junior started and that he actually has an interest in. How old is Junior?
He's 9. He'll be 10 this summer.
And that's great.
And the kid who won the train set, we're friends with him, because I didn't have a lot of kids enter, but he's younger than Aaron. So, and his older brother is just a little older than Aaron, so Aaron kind of splits between both of them. I haven't heard if they've done anything with it or not. So I might contact their dad, text him and be like, "Hey, have y'all done anything with that train set yet or not?"
Right.
Just to see, because I know his kids loves trains.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah, it's 9:30. I've got to go ahead and get some things cleaned up and get ready for tomorrow. And I know Jason's phone's about to die, so God, He's got to go. Oh God. Anyway, Jason, thank you for thank you for letting me take over tonight. I know it was kind of unexpected, but hey, it worked out. Spending time with the family is number one.
Yep, I really appreciate you swapping with me. So, everybody, next week I will be doing Sidetrack Sunday.
His channel.
Yeah, see, I got it right the first time. I'm undecided if I'm going to do bingo for the 600 giveaway. I might not. Don't know yet. And
I still didn't get it right.
If not, I am going to contact somebody, one of you. I've asked in one of my layout updates if you know any type of history information on any specific railroad. That's what I'm wanting to start doing on my episode of Sidetrack Sunday, is just let's talk about a specific railroad. It doesn't matter what railroad it is.
Right.
I'm very knowledgeable about Cotton Belt because my family worked in the Cotton Belt. I grew up in one of Cotton Belt's major hubs and spent a lot of time around it. I know a little bit about SP or Southern Pacific, but there's a lot of railroads I don't know a lot of stuff about. And so if you know something about it, and as long as you've got like a phone like I do where you can show yourself, or if you got like a webcam, you don't have to have any type of fancy equipment, email me and I will, which railroads even if you know more than one, and we'll get on a live and we'll talk about it,
Right.
and just share with everybody, because the history is what makes the hobby the hobby.
Exactly.
Think about it. So, and all of us have a freak flag. Mine being the cotton belt, Ray's being, I'm sure, the B&O. So,
Yep.
we're the Pensy.
Yep.
So there you have it.
So, all right, folks. Well, we're going to go ahead and shut it down here before more bad jokes. Yeah. So, and
And my phone died.
oh boy. All right, folks. You all know the deal. Next week it's on Jason's channel. Oh my goodness. You all know the deal. Wait for the eyeball. Green tracks ahead. We'll catch you all next time. Be safe. God bless. We will see ya.